Welcome, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to those who are gathered here in the sanctuary and to all who are joining us online. Today we begin this morning with a prelude by Scott DeVoe. Thank you, Scott. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Charlottesville. My name is Reverend Tim Temerson. My pronouns are he and him, and I'm pleased to be leading worship this morning with our leaders of our UU Ministry for Earth, Kim Grover and Ellie Siverud, the great music director Scott DeVoe, and our UU Seville Choir. The sanctuary was built over 70 years ago on the homeland of the Monacan people and was once cared for by enslaved people from Africa and their descendants. We honor all who have dwelt here and all in our congregation whose lives led to this moment of our gathering. I now invite us to take a moment to greet others. Those online may unmute, and those here in the sanctuary or social hall are welcome to greet your neighbors, especially those you may not know. We offer a special welcome to newcomers and invite you to join us for fellowship after the service in the social hall. And please use one of our red coffee mugs and join us for a conversation after the service. And UU Seville members and friends are reminded to offer a warm welcome to anyone with a red mug. There is a live stream of the service in the social hall, and while everyone is welcome here in the sanctuary, the social hall can be a good option if you need a roomier space. Many thanks to all the folks helping us share worship both here and online, the greeters, the ushers, the hospitality teams, and of course special thanks to our AV tech team led by Rachel Buckland. And now we have greetings from Board President Pam McIntyre.
Good morning. UUCville is in such a healthy place. I really love how we work together to support each other and the larger community. One beautiful example of is the process of developing our budget. Our Finance Committee used an impressively collaborative process to create the budget. They began with conversations about our values and our priorities for this year. They met repeatedly with our ministers, our personnel committee, and group leaders to refine their understanding of our priorities and needs. And then they adjusted all the numbers following the results of our pledge drive, which was very successful, thanks to the very hard work of our pledge drive team. Yeah. And all of you. And then, this year, they not only presented a detailed budget to the board, but they broke it all down to show how we can support each of the goals in our long-range plan. It was a really impressive job that they did. There was so much thought and care in this budget, you will not be surprised to hear that the board voted unanimously to bring it to the congregation for approval on our June 8th annual congregational meeting. And as always, we'll be hosting information and question sessions where everybody can review the budget and ask plenty of questions in advance of the meeting. I really love that we're able to come together with different opinions and needs and work together. In this process, each person saw not only the needs of their own group, but the needs of the other groups. And we came together with a plan that supports the big picture of who we are at UUCville. We're an example of how humans can work together for the greater good. I'm grateful to be here with all of you. Thank you.
And may I add that it certainly helps to have a fantastic board president. Here are a few announcements. Join us today after the service for a sustainable potluck in the social hall and a number of activities involving native plants and trees. There'll be much more said about this later in the service, but please do join us. And if you were not able to bring something for the potluck today, don't worry about that. I didn't bring anything and I'm going to eat. So please make sure you do join us and have some delicious food. The spring silent auction is next Saturday, May the 3rd, from 5 to 7 p.m. here at UUCville. This is a very fun event and also an important fundraiser for the congregation. There will be so many great items to bid on: dinners, events, experiences, jewelry, art, and more. Please bring an entree or salad or dessert to share. All are welcome, so please join us. Next Saturday, May the 3rd, there will be a labyrinth walk at 1 o'clock here at UUCville on our outdoor labyrinth as part of World Labyrinth Day. People from across the world will be walking and meditating together, so please join us. If you have any questions, you can always ask Patty Wallens. Next Sunday, May the 4th, is our annual Flower Communion Sunday. You're invited to bring a flower or flowers to share from your garden. Don't miss this wonderful Unitarian Universalist celebration of the gifts and blessings of life and community. Today is the last day to register for the online adult faith development class, Reclaiming Your Power in Frightening Times, Spiritual Practices to Help You Find Your Strength and Defend What You Care About Most. This class will be held on Zoom tomorrow evening from 7 to 8:30. Class is offered by Unitarian Universalist Minister Reverend Laura Horton Ledwig, and please speak to Reverend Leah after church today to register. And parents are reminded that today is a Children's Worship Sunday and that the children will be going outside, so you should pick your kids up on the playground after the service. And as our service begins, I'd now like to invite Kim and Ellie to come forward and offer our opening words from Lynn Harrison.
Committed to respond to the call of a hurting world, we join together this day with loving hearts, hands, and minds.
Embracing the interconnected web of water, air, and earth, we light a fire of sustaining hope, ever bright with love and justice.
May we bring forth this day new wisdom, strength, and courage to create a new world not of wealth, but of well-being, a world of new peace and abundance for all.
As we give thanks for this earth, our shared and singular home, may we dedicate ourselves to its ongoing care.
Rising to the calls deep within us and all around us, may we respond today and always with courage and with love.
Beautiful. So I'd now like to invite Reverend Leah and Niels to come forward and light our flaming chalice. And would you all please join with me in saying our chalice lighting words together. We gather this hour as people of faith with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning in celebration of the life we share together. And now let's do our words and our hand motions. Put your hand out like this. We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of open minds. This is the church of helping hands. This is a church of loving hearts. Beautiful. Thank you, Niels. Thank you, Reverend Leah. So now I invite you to rise in body or spirit. We're going to join in singing our opening hymn. Now, this is one I'm guessing you've never sung before. I've never sung it before. So you're probably like, why did you pick it, Reverend Tim? Well, it's got a very nice green theme. It's called Rising Green. It's number 1068 in the Teal hymnal. And what is it? 1068. Yeah. In the Teal hymnal, and the words will be on the screen. I chose this primarily, I really like the lyrics, and it's written by the great Carolyn McDade, who, of course, is the UU songwriter who wrote Spirit of Life. So and I only picked it today because the choir's going to be here. They're going to coach us along. So please rise. may be seated. Well, I'd now like to invite our children, our youth, our young and young at heart to come on down, join Kim and Ellie and I on the red carpet. We're going to tell you about a really, really wonderful person, and we're going to show you a little video about her, and then talk a little bit about her. So come on down, don't be shy. It's all about trees and making the world a better place. See, that doesn't sound too bad. Do you? Okay, fantastic. In class? Okay, nice, nice. Well, let's see if you're right. Let's see if you're right. So, as I said, today we're gonna talk about an amazing woman. Her name was Wangari Maathai. Is that who you were thinking of? Maybe not. You know, you've heard of her before, yes. She's a really, really amazing person of great courage, person who saw many problems in the world and came up with a wonderful way to at least help solve some of them. So what we're going to do first is there's a wonderful book about Wangari called Wangari's Trees of Peace. And what we're going to do is we're going to show you a video of that book, and then we're going to talk about her afterwards. So if you can't see the screen very well, you might want to turn so you can make sure you can see the screen. So Rachel, go ahead.
Wangari's Trees of Peace. A true story from Africa. Wangari lives under an umbrella of green trees in the shadow of Mount Kenya in Africa. She watches the birds in the forest where she and her mother go to gather firewood for cooking. And she helps harvest the sweet potatoes, sugarcane, and maize from the rich soil. Wangari shines in school, and when she grows tall like the trees in the forest, she wins a scholarship to study in America. 6 years later, her studies over, Wangari returns to her Kenya home and sees a change. What has happened? She wonders. Where are the trees? Wangari sees women bent from hauling firewood miles and miles from home. She sees barren land where no crops grow. And where are the birds? Thousands of trees have been cut down to make room for buildings, but no one planted new trees to take their place. Will all of Kenya become a desert? She wonders as her tears fall. Wangari thinks about the barren land. I can begin to replace some of the lost trees here in my own backyard, one tree at a time. She starts by planting 9 seedlings. Watching the seedlings take root gives Wangari the idea to plant more, to start a farm for baby trees, a nursery. In an open space, she plants row after row of the tiny trees. Next, Wangari convinces the village women that planting trees is a good thing. She gives each one a seedling. Our lives will be better when we have trees again. You'll see. We are planting the seeds of hope. The women spread out over their village, planting tiny trees in long rows, like a green belt stretching over the land. government men laugh. Women can't do this, they say. It takes trained foresters to plant trees. The women ignore the laughter and keep planting. Wangari pays them a small amount for each seedling still living after 3 months, their first earnings ever. Word travels like wind rustling through leaves about the green returning to Wangari's village. Soon, other women in other villages and towns and cities in Kenya are planting long rows of seedlings too. But the cutting continues. Wangari stands tall as an oak to protect the old trees still remaining. We need a park more than we need an office tower. The government men disagree. Wangari blocks their way, so they hit her with clubs. They call her a troublemaker and put her in jail. And still she stands tall. Right is right, even if you're alone. But Wangari is not alone. Talk of the trees spreads over all of Africa, like ripples in Lake Victoria. More women hear the talk and plant even more seedlings in longer and longer rows. The seedlings take root and grow tall until there are over 30 million trees where there were none. The umbrella of green in Kenya returns. Women walk tall, their backs straight, for now they can gather firewood closer to home. The land is no longer barren. Sweet potatoes, sugarcane, and maize grow again in the rich red earth. The whole world hears of Wangari's trees and of her army of women who planted them. And if you were to climb to the very top of Mount Kenya today, you would see the millions of trees growing below you. And the green Wangari brought back to Africa. The earth was naked. For me, the mission was to try to cover it with green. Wangari Maathai.
Nice. Yeah, yeah. So, what did you guys think of that story? What'd you like? Was there anything that like stood out? Anything that you were like, wow, that's really interesting, or that's amazing? Yeah. How did they get that many seeds?
Like,
Yeah.
if they chop down all the trees, they probably get rid of the seeds.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question. I don't know if they had chopped down all the trees. They had most of them. Yeah, well, it took a lot of hard work on Wangari and all of those women. Yes.
It reminds me of the story I was telling you about.
Uh-huh.
In class we read a book called Luna and Me. It's like about a woman who stayed in a tree for 2 whole years.
Okay, so you read a story in school about a woman who stayed in a tree for 2 whole years. Wow. Anything else? Or just that story reminded you of that story? Yeah. She was protecting the tree. Oh, okay. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah. Yes.
In class, I read a story about Wangari.
Uh-huh. You did. Uh-huh. Was it Was this story about the same in terms of all that she did? Good, good, good. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, there was a lot I liked about that story too. I was very impressed with her courage. Her courage. Even when she got put in jail, she stood tall. That's really amazing. And also, one other line I'm going to remember in that book, and one quote from her was, "Right is right, even if you're all alone." That's really something. Yes. Gigi, did you have something to say?
Why did she get put in jail?
Why did she get put in jail? What do you think? Yeah? Anybody else? Why did she get put in jail? Yes. For trying to stop the government from chopping down more trees and putting up office buildings and not planting new trees. That's right. That's right. Absolutely. So, who did I miss? Niels, I'm sorry. Yes.
I think why she got put in jail was because back then women didn't really have rights.
Uh-huh.
And she was standing up for women should have rights and that they shouldn't chop down more trees. They already chopped down enough.
Yeah.
They need more gardens because they're chopping down so many trees that they can't grow back fast enough.
Absolutely. No, that's right. That's right. She was very, very courageous. And you're right that a lot of women didn't have rights. And
So I noticed that she had a strategy to engage a lot of women.
yeah.
Not only did she give them the chance, but she also gave them a small amount of money if they were able to carry them and keep them alive in 3 months. So it wasn't just planting the trees, it was remembering that they need to be cared for.
Yeah.
That the women are very poor and need a little
Yeah.
something to help them. And that may have interested the women at first more than the idea of planting trees.
Maybe.
Then the idea really worked.
Absolutely. Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Do you guys remember in the video it said this was the first time many of these women had ever received pay for anything? Absolutely. So Ellie and Kim, just curious, what did you think of the video, or do you know anything else that the video didn't talk about Wangari that you'd like to share?
Yes.
Well, one amazing thing that I learned when I did some research, because I had never heard of her, is that she won the most prestigious award that any person can receive, the Nobel Peace Prize for Peace. And this was about 20 years ago. She was the first woman from Africa to ever win the Nobel Prize.
I think we have a picture of that.
Yes.
You can
Maybe
see what
Rachel can show
Wangari
the
really
picture.
looked like. There she is, winning the Nobel Prize for Peace. That's a really, really famous and important award. Like Martin Luther King won the Nobel Prize for Peace, and many other amazing people. Go ahead.
So I know that even though she died a few years ago, Wangari is still inspiring people all over the world. And we have, I think, 2 pictures of some of the millions of trees that are still being planted today. Yeah, it's really beautiful and inspiring.
And Wangari's impact has really been felt all over the world, including right here in the United States. There's a community garden in Washington, D.C. that is named for her. And it's not too far. We could even go see it sometime.
There we go. There it is.
The Wangari Gardens. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And people are planting more and more trees because thanks to Wangari and all the other women in Africa who planted so many trees, we know how important trees are and what a difference planting them can make. In fact, after today's service, there will be some seedlings outside, tree seedlings that you could take home, in addition to native plants that we've grown here in the church. So look for that after church in the social hall.
I mean, I think most everybody in this room probably either can or can learn how to plant a tree.
I think so.
We can
Pretty
all do
easy.
that. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's another thing I love about Wangari and how she changed the world. She did it by doing something that everybody can do. If you have a seedling or some seeds. Ethan, what you got?
The and just look how many trees she's planted.
Absolutely. So
Not
Ethan-
only did she
Yeah.
plant them herself, but she inspired lots of other people to do it as well.
Yeah. Ethan said that the men said that they weren't doing it right, but look at all those trees. You know, Ethan, occasionally men get it wrong. It happens. It happens. So anyway, well, listen, you all, thank you so much for joining us and for listening to the story and offering great comments. And so now we are going to sing our kids off to children's worship in the parlor. Yes. So one of our kids reminded me on their way out that I said that men get it wrong sometimes. And just remember, Reverend Tim, you're a man too. So. Very true, very true. So before we move into our joys and sorrows, I thought it was important to say a word and hold a moment of silence for the death of Pope Francis. I have to say, I don't normally pray much about popes. It would be easy to list about 300 things that separate Unitarian Universalism from Roman Catholicism. But Pope Francis was a model of what it means in your religion to put love at the center, which is something we talk a lot about. And, his papacy was, a dozen years long, I think, and I don't know if the changes that he brought, the emphasis that he brought, the culture that he brought will live on. I certainly hope so, because he was a leader who really understood, in my view, what religion is supposed to be about and what it is supposed to be calling people to do and how that we are called to live. So I wonder, could we just take a brief moment of silence for Pope Francis? Blessed be. We are an interconnected community that cares for one another, and part of how we embody this care is by making time each week to share the joys and sorrows we hold in our hearts. And we honor all the joys and sorrows that remain unspoken but are held deeply in our hearts. And now everyone is invited to come forward as you wish and place a glass stone or stones in a communal bowl of water as a symbolic act of each being held by the larger love that holds us all. All are welcome to participate, including those who are new to our congregation. Those online may type their joys and sorrows into the chat. As you know, we have 2 baskets holding glass stones, one at the back of the sanctuary, that's now in the center of the center aisle, and the other near the front pews right there. Please take a stone or stones from whichever basket is closest and most convenient for you. When you have your stone, please feel free to come down the center aisle, the side aisle as you are moved. Make your way to the bowl of water in front of the chancel, which will be there momentarily. No need to form a long line. Simply come forward as you are moved. There is plenty of room for more than one person at a time to drop their stone in the bowl. Cindy Benton-Groner from the pastoral care team will come forward to help hold the space. And please know that Cindy will be available for a few minutes after the service in the very back corner of the sanctuary if you are in need of support or just someone to listen. Those online can contact the pastoral care team at pastoral@ucharlottesville.org. Let us now begin. Thank you, choir. Beautiful as always. This community offers its love and support to what is closest to our hearts. Another way we show our care for one another is in sharing our financial gifts with our community and our congregation. Our social action collection for the month of April is for the Blue Ridge Abortion Fund. Rachel, will you please show us the social action slide for giving for those who would like to make a donation to BRAF right now? In addition to giving online, if you would like to make a donation with cash or check, please use the social action collection envelopes, which are scattered about here in the sanctuary, and place them in the collection plates. Please make checks out to the UU Congregation of Charlottesville and write Social Action Collection in the memo line. We also, as always, invite you to generously support the ministries and mission of this congregation. Through your pledges and the weekly Sunday morning offering, together our financial gifts support our congregation and enable us to put love into action. During the music that follows, you can offer your financial support by using the text address or going to our website. And again, you can place cash or checks in the collection plates as they are passed. Let us now dedicate all of the many gifts we share with one another by saying, "We accept your gifts with gratitude. May we use them wisely for the highest good."
Hi, everyone. My name is Kim Grover. My pronouns are she, her. And I want to talk a little bit more about courage and conviction. When Wangari Maathai planted a tree and then another, did she know the profound effect that she would have on women in her country and around the world? Did she know that her work would have a huge impact on the health and soil and air in her country? Did Greta Thunberg know that by skipping school to insist on environmental action by her own government, that she would start a worldwide student climate movement? Did Rachel Carson know when she wrote Silent Spring that she would initiate the reversal of the use of DDT in the US and its reduction around the world? I think the answer in all of these cases is no, or at best, maybe. And I got to thinking about this as I read an account of the start of the Revolutionary War. So I know this seems a bit off topic for Earth Day, but hear me out. This is the story of the Sons of Liberty sneaking into an Anglican church to hang lanterns, one if by land, two if by sea, to warn other patriots of the British invading neighboring Concord. The author of this article, Heather Cox Richardson, asks the question at the end of her account: did Paul Revere and other Sons of Liberty understand that they were on the verge of starting a new nation? To explore the theme a bit, I want to talk more about Rachel Carson and her book, Silent Spring. Starting in the mid-1940s, Carson was concerned with the overuse of synthetic chemicals. A marine biologist with a master's degree from Johns Hopkins, she worked for the U.S. Bureau of Fisheries. She was also a gifted writer. Her second book, The Sea Around Us, won the National Book Award in 1951. The success of this book allowed her to leave the Bureau of Fisheries and become a full-time writer, and by extension, environmentalist. She began writing Silent Spring as a response to a friend's letter written to the Boston Herald about the use of DDT around the Duxbury, Massachusetts area, where it had been used to control a mosquito population. Unfortunately, in addition to killing mosquitoes, it killed off large populations of birds as well. Carson spent 4 years researching the environmental impacts of synthetic chemicals when used in great quantities, as was the practice then. She was ready to publish in 1962. Ahead of its release as a book, it was published in serial installments in the New Yorker magazine. It was met with fierce backlash from the manufacturer of DDT, DuPont Chemical, as well as other chemical companies. Collectively, they discredited her as an unmarried, hysterical woman. But it also got plenty of attention in the general public, and we began to see a fledgling environmental movement grow from this. By 1970, we were celebrating our first Earth Day. Also by 1970, the US government was paying attention. That year, an executive order was signed by Richard Nixon, creating the Environmental Protection Agency. The use of DDT in the US was banned in 1972, and the slow uptick of birds of prey populations followed. Many people attribute this environmental success story directly to Carson's book. Rachel Carson died of breast cancer in 1964 and wasn't around to see the impact that her work had. So I want to ask the question again. Did Rachel Carson know when she wrote Silent Spring that she would initiate the reversal of the use of DDT in the US and its reduction around the world? She probably hoped, and she definitely took action. And like Wangari Maathai and Greta Thunberg, faced harsh criticism. But she knew her convictions, and she stayed true to them in her words and her actions. Some of you may have attended the climate justice revival we held last fall. If you remember, those of you who were here, we spent time together imagining what our ideal world would look like. This practice allows us to move forward to form achievable goals. And as they said at the UUA, if you can't imagine it, you can't create it. Carson and Maathai envisioned the world as they wanted it, and they took actions to bring that vision to reality. It took courage and conviction to do so. But they and others like them need all of us to take our actions as well. There's still plenty of work to do. There are still plenty of people that hold profits above the planet's and our collective health. So I hope for that courage and conviction for you and for me and for all of us, because this is the well we draw from to make the changes that we want to see in the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Very, very powerful and inspiring words. I used to live very near the sea marshes where the research that Rachel Carson based Silent Spring on. I mean, my first UU congregation was the UU Church in Duxbury, Massachusetts, so know that area very well. And I don't think there's any question, Kim, that Silent Spring inspired the environmental movement in this country. I don't think there's any. I mean, there's a few books in history that have done that. Thinking of like, you all know Upton Sinclair's book, The Jungle. I mean, that inspired regulation of factories in the early 1900s. And Rachel Carson's book is much along the same lines in terms of the impact that it had. So just a quick couple words for me before I turn it over to Ellie. I just want to thank Kim and Ellie for today. It was great working with you, putting this service together. Thanks for all the great work that you're doing, leading our ministry for the earth. I think the ministry is going really, really well. And of course, we can do more, and we've got lots of hard work ahead of us. But I'm just really appreciate all the work that you guys are doing. The Climate Justice Revival, which was really Kim spearheaded that, and Ellie is just relentless with postcards and petitions and just, I mean, and I just love everything you do, Ellie. So thank you so much. So. You know, I was going to make a quick point about Wangari's story, but I think Anne made it for me, which is that what really impresses me about Wangari's story is that she didn't just do things on her own, she created a movement. And, you know, she didn't just work in a bubble, she wasn't a lone ranger saying, well, I planted my 25 trees, check. She went out and she inspired and she envisioned and she imagined and she created. And she created a movement, the Green Belt movement, which has really helped transform the face of Africa. There's a lot more work to do in Africa, and the work is not over. But what Wangari did in Africa and the model that she created for others is truly, truly amazing. And what a gutsy person. I mean, she was attacked. The intimidation was attempted on her. Doesn't this sound familiar? And she just stood taller and taller. As Dr. King used to say, she would just, in the face of opposition, she would just straighten her back up. And think about how inspiring that was for others. I mean, she was just an amazing, amazing person. She spoke truth to power, she acted truth to power, she lived truth to power. And I have to say, I just want to say again, and I'll wrap up now because I want Ellie to have time to talk, is I am so proud and inspired of all of you in this congregation who are speaking out, showing up, and making a difference. Whether you're signing postcards, whether you're attending what feel like weekly protests here in town, and we had a number of folks who came out to the protest at the Albemarle County Courthouse to protest the ICE coming into the courthouse and arresting 2 immigrants. And also many of you were going to the protests along 29 in front of Stonefield. And just thank you for showing up. And it is, I believe it's making a difference. Now, as Kim said, can I prove that? Do any of you know that? No, but you're showing up anyway, because you have no way of predicting what one small action, or what the small actions of a lot of people, what difference they can make. So let me just close by saying that my hope for us is that we just keep doing more. We keep using our brains and our imaginations and our creativity to continue to find ways to make a difference. I want to do that with our ministry for the earth. There's so many wonderful ideas out there, ideas for greening our building and our grounds, and a lot of that work is going to get started soon. There's just so many ways that we can, we're small. We're just one little UU congregation, but I believe that we can make a difference and that you all are already doing that. So thank you very much. Ellie, the pulpit is yours.
So, Reverend Tim, and Kim and I hope you found today's service both enlightening and inspiring. And I have to tell you, when we started planning this, Reverend Tim told Kim and I about Wangari Maathai, and I had never heard of her. And look what she's done. It's just amazing how many people there are like that in the world that just do their little quiet thing and change the world, and we don't even know about them. A lot of unknown heroes and heroines, and it certainly highlights the power of every individual and every act we do. So what's next? How can we, the UUCville congregation, carry on Wangari's spirit and do our part to save the world? Here are 4 things that you can do today, right here at church. So the first one is to join us in the social hall for our semi-annual sustainable potluck. You can try new dishes that you can make at home so that you can help make our planet more sustainable. You know, eat less meat, less carbon emissions. And as a reminder, for those that may be new or maybe other people forgot, we produced a sustainable cookbook, which you can find online on the Ministry for Earth page at our website. And you can get a lot of recipes there, especially thanks to Barb for helping us get that online. Number 2, you can take home and plant in your garden native seeds, which have been lovingly saved, organized, and packaged by Walter Hoffman and the Garden Committee. They've been working for probably 6 months. So they're going to be in the social hall, and they're going to have packets ready, and each one's going to include instructions for those particular seeds. So take them home and start your own garden. The third thing you can do is you can take home a tree seedling and plant in your yard. We have over 40 tree starters, which came from the Arbor Day Foundation. I had to twist a few arms, but I got a couple of people to make donations. And with each donation that you make, they send you 10 trees. So if you want more than one, you can do that yourself. Most of the trees are dogwoods, but then there are a few other kinds too. And those will be outside of the social hall, out in the yard. And each one's going to come with planting instructions. And we may have more coming in, so we'll keep you posted if you want more than one. And the fourth thing that we're going to do, well, we can't do what Wangari did. We can't plant millions, but there is a local organization that is doing very similar work here in our little corner of the world. And the name of the organization is Relief. And they are a local nonprofit group that plants trees in Charlottesville's low canopy neighborhoods. And they also teach young people about the importance of trees. And we have Peggy Van Yars is here. Peggy, you want to raise your hand? And her assistant. And they're here from Relief. And they're going to be also at a table outside where the trees are. And you can talk to them and learn about what they're doing and show how you can support their work, either financially or by volunteering or just spreading the word about them. So we have lots of ways for you to live our UU values and make a difference. So thank everybody for coming and for listening.
Right, thank you so much. So now let's rise in body or spirit. We're going to have a rousing closing song from the, what are they called again? I forget the name of the group. Revival something chorus. Yes, and it's about joy. And we won't have the lyrics on the screen, but it's pretty repetitive. So just rise, sing, dance, move, whatever you want to do. Please rise. Resistance Revival. That's right.
Joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Don't you know that? This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, I said the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Oh, this strength that I have, this strength that I have, this strength that I have. Oh, yeah, now. The world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it to me. This strength that I have. Oh, yeah, the world didn't give it it to me. The world didn't give it to me. The strength that I have. Oh yeah. The world didn't give it to me. Oh, I said the world didn't give it. The world can't take it away. Oh, this love that I have. This love that I have. Oh yeah, now. The world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it to me. This love that I have. Oh yeah, the world didn't give it to me. Don't you know that this love that I have, yeah, the world didn't give it to me. Singing, the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This pride that I have, this pride that I have, this pride that I have. Oh yeah, now. The world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it to me. This pride that I have. I said the world didn't give it to me. Don't you know that this pride that I have, yeah, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, I said the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. All this peace that I have, yeah. The world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give me my peace that I have. Oh yeah, now. The world didn't give it to me. Won't you sing about this peace that I have? Oh yeah, now. The world didn't give it to me. I said the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. All this joy that I have, this joy that I have, this joy that I have. Oh yeah, now, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have. I said the world didn't give it to me. Don't you know that this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, I said the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. The world didn't give it and the world can't take it away. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. The world didn't give it and the world can't take it away. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. The world didn't give it and the world can't take it away. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away.
Resistance Revival Chorus believes in the words written by the poet Toy Darracott when she wrote, "Joy is an act of resistance." We believe in the words of Mr. Harry Belafonte, who said, "When the movement is strong, the music is strong." We sing to revive the hearts of those who fight for social justice, and we sing together for freedom.
Amen. Well, I hope you are feeling energized and inspired. I encourage you to go into the social hall and have some food and get a seedling and some seeds. And I told Ellie and Kim I was going to end the service with this really corny statement. You are invited to make like trees and leave. Amen. Blessed be. Thank you. Well done.
Thank you.
Of course.